tough loss down in San Antonio this past weekend. Thought the players played very, very hard. Thought we were ready to play. Thought we came out with a lot of energy. Came out and did some really good things there, especially offensively early in the ball game. And against a very, very good team. Kind of had a back and forth ball game for much of the day. You look back at it, just really pleased with the effort of the players. Thought the 4 explosive plays we gave up defensively were obviously ones that we have not been giving up, and ones that we should make the play, and those were big. I thought that just a few plays here or there. We had 2 trips deep in UTSA territory that we came away with no points. You got to convert those into points against a quality opponent. But our guys gave us a chance to win. We weren't able to get that done. I think we faced a very good opponent, and they've got a lot left of the season to play for. So the kids are excited about the matchup this week. They were fantastic on Sunday. Very motivated. Glad to be back at home in Daddy Ficklin Stadium. Obviously a challenging opponent in a 7-1 Tulane, ranked in the top 25. Veteran quarterback Michael Pratt. Veteran defense, veteran offense, quality football team we're facing. So the guys are excited about the matchup. Looking forward to game day. Looking forward to get back out on the field today to have a solid Tuesday in preparation to play very, very well this weekend. So, questions?
Coach, with obviously the bowl game being off the table at this point, 4 games left, do you treat each one almost like a bowl game in some way, or like what's kind of the message to the team as far as you have 4 games left to make each one count?
Well, I think the kids have, we talked about our leadership council Sunday night. They set the message same as I do. And it's next game. It's a 1-0 mentality. That's the only game that you can focus on is the one this week, and they're very dialed in on that, and very encouraged by their attitudes. So excited about the game this weekend.
Coach, when you see your offense make some big plays like they did in this game, obviously it gives you hope that they maybe the lights coming on and maybe they can grow from that. Did you see that when you guys got back together, when you guys looked at the tape, that kind of thing?
Well, I thought we saw us gel and play together better this past weekend. Obviously, got some more consistent play from our offensive front. Got some more consistent play from our wide receivers. Thought the quarterback play was more consistent and improved this weekend. So I think the combination of all those factors resulted in a better performance. And obviously, that's what we all desire. A couple of guys, hey, that's the guy we're waiting on. And they have too. So I think that the positive result is that should give those guys some confidence and want to really build on that going into this weekend.
2 years ago, you put up 52 on Tulane and blew them out, and now 2 years later, they're in the top 25. They were going through a 2-win season. Just looking at, and every situation is different, but looking at that as a coach, is it kind of proof that it doesn't stay tough forever, that ECU can turn it around like Tulane has?
Well, every year is a new year, and every team's a new team. There's no doubt about it. The thing is, they had a challenging year 2 years ago, but they had a solid program. We're having a challenging year right now, but we've got a solid program, and we're very close. That's how I look at it. That's why we stay motivated. You stay motivated by, you look at the way the kids competed and played this past weekend from an effort level. They're very invested in this program. So are the coaches. This is a great place to be. We're excited to be here, and look forward to playing well this weekend, and look forward to getting Pirate football exactly where it needs to be.
I preface this with understanding that you want to win every game, but over this next month, does maybe some of that player development kind of take a front seat just with the guys that are going to be here next year and beyond, anything like that?
mean, it's, that player development's had a front seat the entire season, and that never stops. The focus for us is to go out and try to get a win this weekend against Tulane. That's the focus. Certainly with, we do have some guys banged up, and so you're obviously going to see some younger guys make their way into the rotation. I think you'll probably see some on special teams at some times, because now we have the ability to give ourselves more depth in the latter part of the season. But the whole focus is how can we help the Pirates have the best chance to win on game day. That's it.
Coach, this may be more of a, I don't know, end of year question, but with you guys going through what you're going through right now, do you feel like it could be something to open fans' eyes to the NIL, and just how much college football is changing, and just kind of the need to invest in that standpoint, because there are other teams in the league that have invested, and some of that maybe shows at times as well.
Well, I think that the landscape of college football has changed drastically in the last 2 years. We talked about it this time last year, and I beat that drum pretty loudly at the end of the year last year and all through the winter. The thing is, you do have a lot of teams in this league that have invested heavily, and when I say teams, I mean really the people surrounding those teams have invested heavily in name and image likeness. We're thankful for the name and image likeness endorsements that our student athletes do enjoy here at East Carolina University. Very thankful for Team Boneyard and what they've been able to do. And I would just encourage everyone to take a good look at where support is needed for those student athletes, and to continue to invest in the program. Obviously, it makes a huge difference. And I think that you can probably get some guys to do some research just on the different investment levels of different programs throughout our conference and throughout our division, and see where everything stacks up.
Coach, follow-up to that is, how do you juggle that, the need for the NIL funds with the need for the indoor practice facility, and we're in Eastern North Carolina, so there's only so much of that?
Well, I mean, I think number one, that's probably more of an administration question than a head football coach question. But when you're sitting in my seat, you need both. But at the end of the day, every coach knows you're only as good as your players, and so everything we do is player-centered. When I first got the job, I took a look at everything that touched the players' lives on a daily basis. Nutrition and development was way down, and so we have pushed to invest heavily in your training table, the full-time nutritionist, her staff, fueling stations in the ward and in the weight room, and we've been able to establish that, and we can see the difference that it made since 2019 in our roster, in their development physically. So everything for me centers around how can we support the student athletes. And so when asked that question, I will say everything starts with name and image likeness.
Coach, your team could have easily rolled over after that Charlotte game, but they played with more heart in this past game, maybe than they have played all year. That speaks a lot about you and your staff, but also that's something you probably identify in those kids when you're recruiting them. What do you use to kind of identify a kid that's going to play with that much heart and character when it's going good stuff?
Well, I think it says a lot about our student athletes. That's what I think it says a lot about. I love this group of kids. They are outstanding, and every single day I get to spend with them is a great day. And we have not gotten the results as far as wins and losses that we wanted this year up to this point. But I am proud of the way they compete. I'm proud of the way they responded on Saturday. We were all very disappointed in the performance against Charlotte. But I think that the way they went out and competed at a high level this past weekend shows just what they're about, and it's what we want to be about. And when you ask about recruiting, we try very hard to recruit student athletes that they match up with us character-wise. They match up with us toughness-wise, work ethic-wise, and when I say us, I mean East Carolina University. You know, there's a certain kind of individual that thrives here at ECU and in this region, and our fan base identifies with, and there are some student athletes that don't. And I think we have a collection of guys that our fan base can be proud of just with the way they compete on game days and the way they represent themselves in the community. So I think that the performance this past weekend, I would expect that to be improved this weekend, and that's been my challenge to the coaching staff, and that's been my challenge to the student athletes.
Coach, it was a really hard-fought, tough game last year
Yep.
down at Tulane. What did you learn about their defense and also about Michael Pratt as you get ready to face them this week?
Well, I think we've known who Michael Pratt is since 2020, and he's one of the top quarterbacks in the country. And I told him this summer that I was disappointed to see him returning. So he's a challenge. He is very composed. He's a great leader. He's the guy that makes great decisions in the pocket. Does a good job making plays with his legs. Throws the ball downfield with accuracy, probably as well as anybody in this league. So we have a challenge against him, and he's surrounded by a very talented group of skill kids, wideouts, tight ends, running backs, and a really solid offensive line. So we have a tremendous challenge defensively this week facing the Tulane offense. I think their defense they're a little bit different this year. There's still some similarities to last year, but they have a new coordinator who we've known for a long time, and he's a top-notch coordinator. And so they're doing a few things a little bit different, but still, when I look at them, and I can say this really about all three phases, you don't see weaknesses. You see a very solid football team. You see a solid defense. They're going to make you work for what you get, and so that's the challenge for us. But you're facing 7-1 football team with their lone loss being to Ole Miss, and that was a close loss. You're facing one of the best teams in the country, so the challenge is that. And I'll say this: our players are really excited about that challenge. I think that probably gives them a little extra motivation this weekend, and I should see that in practice this week.
Coach, we saw JV's Bond miss last week. Just an update on his status and the overall health of the team going forward. I know a couple guys been confirmed out for the season.
Well, we're week 10, so there's bumps and bruises, no doubt. That's just the way it goes with the sport. Javis will practice today, so we'll see how it goes throughout the week. We've been cautious with bringing him back too quick, just because you don't want a relapse there with a hamstring strain. So we'll see how he does throughout the week as far as his availability for Saturday.
Coach Jeremy Lewis, he just had a really solid season. We
Yep.
maybe haven't talked about him enough, and just has gotten better each year as a senior. What type of season he's putting together?
Well, he and I talked Sunday evening, and I just told him I think he's playing the best ball of his career right now. And you look at him last year; he was a really good player last year. But I mean, really now he's playing with confidence. He's playing with a guy that when you watch him, hey, that's an experienced football player. He's a smart football player. He sees things naturally and plays naturally. Has a great motor, great intensity. He's playing all over the place for us, and that's by design. So he's having a great senior season. My only cautions to him, and I've told him this, is just don't try to do too much. Make sure you stay within the parameters of the scheme, because when he has got himself in trouble this year is when he tries to make plays that aren't his to make, and most times that results in a big play for the offense. And I thought he did a better job of that last weekend. And so he's having the kind of senior year you'd hoped he would have, and I know he's excited for this week to continue to build on that.
Anything else?
Coach, saw a lot of different receivers than we have seen over the season and just different combinations. Is that something you went back and kind of saw the film from earlier in the year and saw some guys who needed some opportunities, and just, is that something you're looking to do this week as well?
Well, I think the guys have been getting those opportunities. If you look at targets and plays, you know, the difference was we were making the plays this past weekend, so it was great to see. You know, it was great to see, you know, Jalen have the production he had. It was great to see Chase have the production he had. It was great to see Jari have the production he had. DeCirio, in his first college start, I thought he was very solid. Now he's got some things he can really improve on and some plays he left out there. But you know, he's a young guy getting his first crack at everything. So you know, it was great to have Gerald Green back from injury, and you know, so you saw the impact that he made. So you know, I think some of the guys you saw make impacts this past weekend is just, you know, them really, you know, making plays and gaining confidence from making plays. And again, much like a lot of what we've talked about today, you know, we want them to build on that and improve on that this weekend.
Anything else? Thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks a lot.